If you've come this far, you might be looking for ways to cultivate more patience in your life. In Buddhism, this virtue is considered one of the keys to a fulfilling and balanced life. Patience not only helps us handle difficulties better, but also teaches us to embrace each moment, accepting the natural flow of life. You will discover profound and transformative Buddhist practices that can be incorporated into your daily routine to develop patience more naturally and easily. We will explore, step by step, simple and accessible techniques that will guide you toward finding serenity, calm, and harmony in every situation. Get ready for a journey of self-discovery and reflection, one that will bring you peace and show you that patience is within everyone's reach. The first practice we'll explore is breath meditation, known as Anapanasati. This practice, though simple, has a depth that can transform how we relate to the world and ourselves. Imagine yourself in a peaceful place. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus your attention on your breathing. Don't try to control it, just observe the air entering and leaving your body. Feel the coolness of the air as you inhale and the warmth as you exhale. Over time, your mind will begin to calm down, and you'll be fully present. What makes breath meditation a powerful practice for cultivating patience is that it teaches us to be in the present moment. With each breath, we learn that we don't need to rush things, there is a time for each process. Gradually, this state of mindfulness extends to other areas of life. Conscious breathing shows us that, just like breathing, every aspect of life has its own rhythm, and it's up to us to accept it. Try a simple exercise right now. Take a deep breath, observe the air flowing, and slowly exhale, releasing any tension. This simple act is a reminder that even in the most challenging situations, patience begins with a pause, with a moment of presence. Whenever you feel impatience rising, remember to stop and just breathe. Repeating this practice throughout the day will help you develop the ability to wait with serenity and acceptance. The next practice is reflecting on impermanence, one of Buddhism's central concepts. Impermanence reminds us that everything in life is constantly changing, and that nothing stays exactly the same for long. This understanding is a powerful tool for developing patience. When we reflect on impermanence, we realize that even the most challenging situations and uncomfortable moments won't last forever. This practice helps us face discomfort and anxiety with a calmer mind, knowing that any difficulty is just a phase. To incorporate this practice, take a moment now and observe your surroundings. Think about how everything around you, objects, people, even the sensations you feel at this moment, is in transformation. This awareness helps us not to cling too tightly to difficult moments and to appreciate the good times while they last. Impermanence teaches us that what we need is simply to wait long enough, and things will follow their course. By accepting that everything changes, we learn to let go of the rush to fix or solve life at every moment and open ourselves to the patience of living each moment as it is. The third practice is loving kindness meditation, known as Metta. In Buddhism, Metta means cultivating a deep and genuine feeling of kindness and compassion for ourselves and others. By practicing loving kindness, we learn to develop patience not only with situations, but also with the people around us. To begin, imagine yourself sitting in a peaceful place and visualize a person for whom you have special affection. Mentally repeat wishes of well-being, like, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May you live with joy. Then, expand these wishes to other people, friends, acquaintances, even those with whom you may have had conflicts. Gradually, this feeling of compassion extends to all beings. This practice teaches us that patience is an act of love. By wishing well for everyone, even those who challenge us, we learn to respond to situations with more calm and empathy, instead of reacting hastily or with irritation. Metta shows us that patience is also a gift we give to ourselves and others. Whenever your patience is tested, take a moment to practice kindness. Remember that, just like you, everyone is facing challenges. This understanding transforms patience into an act of compassion and kindness that strengthens bonds and inner peace. The next practice is contemplating the law of karma, or cause and effect. In Buddhism, karma is not seen as punishment or reward, but as the simple understanding that every action generates a consequence. When we understand this deeply, we become more conscious and patient with what happens in our lives. Imagine that every word, every thought, and every action you take is like a seed. These seeds, once planted, sprout at the right time, and what we harvest is the result of what we sowed. Reflecting on karma, we learn that the fruits of our actions do not appear immediately. There's a waiting time, a natural period of ripening. This understanding teaches us patience in two ways. First, in dealing with the consequences of our past actions, knowing that what we are experiencing today is part of this cycle of cause and effect, and second, in planting new seeds with care and attention, knowing that what we sow with patience and wisdom will bring better fruits in the future. To practice this reflection, take a few minutes at the end of the day and think about your actions, words, and intentions. Ask yourself, what kind of seed am I planting with my attitude today? What kind of fruit do I want to harvest tomorrow? This practice reminds us that patience is not just waiting, but also planting carefully to harvest at the right time. The practice of mind training, known as Lojong, is an ancient Buddhist technique that teaches us to transform how we see and deal with challenges. The central idea of Lojong is that the mind can be trained to see difficulties and obstacles as opportunities for growth and strength. This practice helps us develop patience by transforming our relationship with discomfort. Instead of avoiding difficult situations, we begin to see them as teachers that help us train the mind. Each challenging situation becomes an exercise in patience, where we learn to expand our capacity to accept and respond with serenity. To begin practicing Lojong, try identifying a specific challenge in your life. It could be a situation, a person, or even an emotion that bothers you. Instead of fleeing or reacting with irritation, observe how this situation can teach you something. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? By practicing mind training, you start transforming any difficult moment into an opportunity to strengthen patience and resilience. Thus, Lojong becomes a powerful tool to develop a broader heart and mind that embrace life as it is. English translation **. The practice of accepting human nature is a way of embracing who we are, with all our strengths and weaknesses, mistakes and successes. In Buddhism, there is a deep understanding that we are all in constant learning and transformation, and that it is natural to face moments of difficulty and imperfection. Accepting our human nature is recognizing that we don't need to be perfect to find peace. In fact, it is by embracing our limits and challenges that we develop genuine patience. With this acceptance, we become kinder to ourselves, avoiding excessive self-criticism and learning to wait for our own growth. To practice this acceptance, take a moment of silence and reflect on a recent situation where you felt impatience with yourself or with others. Instead of criticizing yourself, try to see this moment as a natural part of your growth. Recognize that we all have our own journeys and that every step, no matter how small, contributes to our development. This practice helps us to have more patience, not only with others, but especially with ourselves. Accepting our human nature opens the door to compassion and serenity, knowing that the path of self-discovery and transformation takes time. The practice of Vipassana, or observing emotions, is one of the deepest in Buddhism. It teaches us to observe our feelings and thoughts without judging them, simply perceiving them as they are. Through this practice, we develop a more balanced relationship with our emotions, learning to deal with them without being overwhelmed. When we feel impatience, anger, or anxiety, our first reaction is often to resist, avoid, or even ignore these emotions. However, Vipassana encourages us to do the opposite, to look deeply at each emotion that arises, understanding its origin and allowing it to manifest without attachment or aversion. To practice, start by closing your eyes and focusing on an emotion present at this moment. Try to identify where it manifests in your body, perhaps as tension in the chest, a lump in the throat, or a heaviness in the shoulders. Instead of judging, simply observe. Let the emotion come and go, like a cloud passing through the sky. Gradually, you'll notice that this observation brings calm and patience. By learning to observe your emotions, you develop an internal patience, understanding that even the most intense emotions are fleeting. This practice is a reminder that we can find balance and peace within ourselves, even amid emotional storms. The practice of compassion and interdependence reminds us that we are all connected, and that our actions impact not only our own lives but also those around us. In Buddhism, understanding that all beings are interconnected is essential for cultivating patience and empathy. Reflecting on interdependence teaches us that, just like us, each person is living through their own struggles and challenges. This awakens in us a genuine compassion that helps us be more understanding and patient in the face of others' differences and difficulties. With this perspective, we realize that by helping and embracing others, we are also caring for ourselves. To practice this reflection, try observing a difficult situation between you and another person and attempt to put yourself in their shoes. Ask yourself, what difficulties might they be facing? How would I react if I were in their position? This exercise reminds us that, despite our differences, we all want to be happy and avoid suffering. This practice of compassion and interdependence is a powerful way to develop patience, as it helps us see that every human being, like us, is part of a greater whole. By nurturing this understanding, we find more peace and feel that our role in the world has a purpose of kindness and unity. The last practice we will explore is generosity, or dana. In Buddhism, dana is considered a fundamental virtue that helps us cultivate not only detachment but also patience and kindness. Generosity invites us to look beyond our own needs and consider the well-being of others, offering what we have with an open heart. Generosity doesn't have to be something grand. It can be a smile, a word of encouragement, or a gesture of support. When we practice dana, we learn to expect less immediate return and to act with selflessness. This act of giving, without expecting anything in return, strengthens our ability to deal with impatience, as we come to understand that not everything requires an immediate outcome. To incorporate this practice into your daily life, try performing an act of generosity, no matter how small, without expecting anything in return. It could be something simple, like helping someone or offering a kind word. Notice how this practice transforms your own state of mind, cultivating within you a serenity that naturally arises from the willingness to share and support others. The practice of generosity teaches us that by opening our hearts to others, we also open space for a genuine and profound patience within ourselves. Dana is a reminder that patience grows stronger when we are willing to give, to wait, and to trust in the natural flow of life. Today we explored together Buddhist practices that can help you develop patience, a virtue that enriches and transforms every aspect of our lives. From conscious breathing to the practice of generosity, each of these techniques teaches us to cultivate a state of peace and acceptance. These practices do not require us to change who we are, but rather to make room in our lives for a new way of seeing difficulties, emotions, and relationships. They show us that patience is not just passive waiting, but a conscious choice to live each moment with mindfulness and purpose. Remember that patience is like a seed. It needs to be watered frequently, nurtured with kindness, so that it can grow and bloom. Each small daily practice brings us a bit closer to a more serene and balanced life, where we find peace even in the most challenging situations. May you carry these practices forward, allowing them to bring harmony and understanding to your journey. And may this patience, cultivated with wisdom and care, illuminate not only your life, but also those around you. Thank you for being here and sharing this moment of reflection. May you find patience and peace in every breath, every thought, and every gesture,